Recently I heard about all these reports of life on the clouds of Venus, but it seemed a little far-fetched for me, and I know how much the news likes to blow things out of proportion, so I wanted to do some research. It came from this Cardiff University study where they used the infrared telescope to look into the Venusian clouds. Just a side note, Venusian is not how I expected it to be pronounced. I thought it was going to be Venetian for some reason. They were looking for phosphine, or pH3, because of another study that said substantial amounts of phosphine in the atmosphere would be a good indicator of life. Usually phosphine would be removed by the crust of Venus before it built up, but this time it wasn't. They concluded that it was from an unknown source, which might have been life, but also might have been a million other things, because we don't really know that much about the atmosphere of Venus, and we don't know all about the chemistry either. Unfortunately, they said it was not substantial enough for a sign of life, but this got me thinking. If there could be life on the clouds of Venus, is there life in the clouds on Earth? I'm fascinated by clouds, so I was immediately drawn in. I love how they're just like art in the sky. Like, you can tell the weather from them, they're all different shapes and sizes, they're just amazing. My first thought was no, because when water evaporates, it's distilled, purifying it from everything that's alive. But actually, there are millions of bacteria, algae, and fungus in every cloud. They're actually an important part of the water cycle, making it rain more than in lifeless clouds. Even more surprising, sometimes animals get pulled up into the clouds. About 40 times a year there are reports of animals that have fallen from the sky. Everything from spiders and worms to alligators and even squid. The thought of raining spiders just makes my skin crawl. Luckily, it's most often fish and frogs that get pulled up into the sky. It's from tornadoes that pull them up from nearby lakes and ponds. They don't just get to swim in the sky either. Because of the low pressure and temperature, they get frozen pretty fast, and then they fall back to the ground as blocks of ice. So if you ever see a downpour of wildlife, I would suggest staying inside.